Do you want to know the truth about the Discovery Princess cruise ship?
Well, we have some great news for you. We recently got off the Discovery Princess when we traveled to Alaska. We have a lot of things that we liked, but we also have a few wishes.
Yeah, there are a few wishes. We had an amazing cruise. We're going to share our wishes with you as well as a ton of likes. There's a lot to like about this ship. Again, it was an amazing cruise to Alaska. We're going to go over the ship. We'll go over Embarkation and Disembarkation, the Stateroom, the app, as well as the Medallion.
And of course, we're going to talk about the food and the restaurants, the amenities, the activities, the venues, and the shows.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and dive right into it.
So we've both made our own lists of things that we liked and our own wishes. We haven't shared with each other what's on our papers, but I kind of know, I think, what Ken's going to say. So I'm curious if we're on the same page.
I think I have some clues of yours as well, but yeah. So we're going to share those with you. I don't know what she's written down. She doesn't know what I've written down. And we're going to start out with the ship today. So let's dive right into the ship.
Well,
do you want to start or do you want me to start?
You know what? I'll go ahead and start.
Okay.
Because this is a big like for me.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the ship was absolutely beautiful. It is mostly in grays and it's white. It's calm, relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
It just has this like overall peaceful, relaxing vibe.
I would agree. The ambiance on the ship, you described it as like a wedding.
Yeah.
Kind of like the music was calm out on the deck and it was just relaxing out there. It wasn't gung-ho party dancing. It was just a calm experience. If you're looking for a calm cruise, this is maybe a good choice for you for sure.
There's still a lot of fun and louder activities going on that you can find, but the overall feeling was very restful.
Mm-hmm. I had something similar. I had the ship reminded me it was very modern and yet elegant is what I wrote down.
Elegant, yeah.
Yeah. So when you walk into the main, onto the ship right away, the main, I guess I'll call it the atrium area, but it goes down to the piazza at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
They've got welcome aboard banners. It was just beautiful, very elegant and
classy.
Modern. Classy. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
No, for sure.
I have another like too, and this is, the ship did not feel crowded. We commented multiple times that when we were on the stairs, we were often the only people.
Yeah, we're waiting for the elevators.
Quiet.
It was quiet. For a ship that was pretty much full,
Mm-hmm.
like, we did not have to wait a long time for elevators. We'd be standing there waiting for elevators and there wouldn't be people there. Other than, again, the main kind of atrium area or...
when a show let out.
When a show let out or you were going into port,
Yeah.
it did seem busier then, but just the overall experience, it seemed quiet and you talk to each other without people listening even while you're waiting for the elevators. It was just a good
nice.
experience. Yeah. The ship itself is beautiful, but one thing I noticed on the ship, and this was amazing to me, was how stable it was and quiet.
That's true.
So if you're not paying attention, you might actually miss when the ship leaves port. We'd be sitting in the lounge or something, and all of a sudden we'd look out the window and we've already left. We didn't feel the ship pulling away from port.
Is it the thrusters?
Yeah, I think or is it the thrusters that point out the side? I think.
Yeah, honestly, there was a couple times we left port, and I was like, "Oh, we're gone.
We're already gone.
We're moving."
Which other ships, it's like, and you'd feel when you're leaving port. This one was extremely smooth. I even know I mentioned to you on the sea day, like there didn't seem like there was a lot of rolling. It was just a very smooth ship that way.
And you know, on that note, I didn't wake up once in the morning to us pulling into port. The sound.
No.
And that often, I think on every cruise we've been on, that has woken me up as we come in, the sounds of the engine changing and stuff.
Yeah.
You're just totally right. It was very quiet.
Yeah. The other thing I did want to mention is I'm going to go back to where we said it was kind of elegant. It's the Love Boat.
Oh, yeah.
It is the Love Boat. They even played the Love Boat theme there on the ship when we left Skagway.
Mm-hmm.
Like it does have that experience and the elegance of that. Yeah. Any other ship thoughts?
No, that's
I do have a couple others. So,
okay.
this is more of a place that we really enjoyed to hang out in on the ship. Was the Salty Dog Gastropub in the Piazza. I mean, we could probably go on about the ship for an hour on its own, but the Salty Dog Gastropub in the Piazza. So the Piazza, there would be people singing, playing the violin, or all sorts of things down there, and it would get quite busy. And the Salty Dog Gastropub is right next to it, and it was often empty, and you were allowed to sit in there and just enjoy your day. I think until 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And there was booths by the window, so we would often grab a coffee at the International Cafe, I believe that's what it was called, and go take it to the Salty Dog Gastropub and just sit by in a booth. You could hear the music playing.
They would come by too and say, do you want water, or is there anything we can bring you? Even though the restaurant itself is not technically open.
Yeah. So,
yeah, that's nice.
Did you have any wishes though about the ship?
No.
Oh. I have a couple. I have a couple.
Oh, see, this is a surprise.
Yeah. So they're not like bad things really, but so the main dining rooms, there's the Ketchikan, the Skagway, and I think there's one more. Juno. So commonly we would eat in the Ketchikan, which was at the aft or the back of the ship on deck 6, I believe. It was kind of weird though, and we got used to it by the end, but you could see people were getting lost. You had to go up onto deck 7 and then down the stairs or elevator at the back of the ship or the aft to get to the deck 6 where the restaurant was.
Yeah.
So I know it's the ship layout, I understand that, but it could be a little bit confusing. And maybe if there could have been like a hallway, because I did see people with some mobility issues and they're kind of in the center of the ship, and then they'd have to go up a level to the back of the ship and back down.
But that is common on a lot of cruise ships because they have the kitchen in the middle, and that's why you can't pass through.
Yeah.
So that is a common thing you do see. We've seen that before.
We've seen that before. It's just it's not my favorite, just because I think it definitely can be a little bit harder to find for some people. So the other thing, and this is on deck 5, so they've got the Lotus Spa. We would commonly walk through that area. But to get to the elevators, you had to walk through the spa area, which seemed odd to me.
Well, so you're not technically entering, you're walking past the reception desk for the Lotus. And sometimes when you don't know the outlay of the ship at first, you feel like you're entering the spa. And you're like, oh, well, I'm not going to the spa. But yes, you can just continue past.
Well, it felt awkward the first few times because there would be people with like robes on and things standing there in the hallway, and it wasn't clear that you could walk through there. If you were coming from the one direction and going to the elevators, it might have felt like you were
gone the wrong way.
So maybe some clarity there that you're actually in a hallway and not entering the spa. So other than that, any other ship thoughts there, Andrea?
No, I loved it.
Yeah, I did too. Amazing ship, amazing venues, and we'll get into all that in a moment. So let's move on to item number 2, which is embarkation and disembarkation. So I'll start out. It was really fast for us to get on the ship, but I'm going to throw in a second part for a wish. It was really slow for others to get on the ship.
Yeah, and I feel kind of guilty because we didn't have any problems. We just went right through. It was quick. And then we found out from other guests we talked to, they waited quite a few hours to get in.
Yeah.
It got
so this was
up.
in the port of Seattle.
Yes.
And we had an early embarkation time of 11, I believe. So we just sailed on through and got on the ship within a few minutes. It was really fast.
Now, sorry, I'm going to cut right into a little bit of a wish here, though. We got there, I think, just kind of before the porters and everyone were ready for us. And so it was a little confusing.
Yeah.
So when we got and I think it's a little bit to do that they're not in Seattle all year round. So this isn't like you're showing up to Princess's Terminal, like when you go to like Miami and different places, they have the big terminals designated for specific cruise lines.
Yeah.
That is not the case here. It's a little bit more industrial feeling.
Yeah. So I would say, so we heard from other people on Facebook that they waited outside in a covered walkway for a long time. Let's say an hour
Yeah.
or more. And we didn't have that experience. We walked right on the ship. I do think when we showed up on it, we parked off site and were shuttled in. When we got off our shuttle, there weren't actually any porters to take our luggage, which was really weird. By the time we'd gone on, the porters did show up, and I think that's what you're kind of alluding to. And there wasn't signs showing where to go. So we got in a line, and then we found out we were in the wrong line. And
We were in the line to get luggage tags.
Yeah, and there wasn't anyone there really to say that. So it was, finally people showed up and started yelling, if you're not here for luggage tags, go over there. But that was after we'd already waited in line for 10 minutes, maybe.
Yeah, and I was a little worried then too that we were going to have to carry our luggage all the way onto the ship. Like, I'm not used to taking my luggage inside the terminal, but there was a place to drop off the bags inside.
Yeah, so we walked inside, dropped off our bags, and they went right through the scanner. And by the time we came back outside, there was porters there then. So it was kind of a little bit confusing. Yeah, it's kind of a wish. But again, we walked on. Embarkation was really smooth. We got our medallions right in the port. They told us where to go because they hadn't mailed them to us. So
that was clear.
That was clear. They had
simple.
our names. It was really quick. And we sat down and I don't think we waited more than a couple of minutes to get onto the ship. So really smooth that way. I do want to talk though about the ports as well. It was really smooth getting on and off the ship in the ports.
Yes.
None of them were tendered, so we could just walk. Actually, one was tendered.
But that wasn't normally a tender. That was actually them.
Skagway had the rock slide, so we actually docked at the port, but they had to tender us. I think they did a really good job with that.
They did. Excellent.
We did have to wait about half an hour, so they gave us a little ticket, and we just waited in the lounge. So we didn't actually stand in line for half an hour, which was nice. And they did their best. And actually, a Holland America ship, I believe it was the New Amsterdam, loaned their tenders as well, so they could take more people to shore. So that was really good. And then the other ports, Ketchikan, Juneau, and Victoria, we walked on and off the ship. No, not really any lines at all.
No, that was simple.
Yeah, so really good that way. Do you want luggage and getting into our room? I didn't write this down, but we got into our room pretty early.
Around noon or just after?
Yeah, and our luggage showed up almost right away. And even our
a room steward?
Room steward, Aries, he was amazing. And I think we're going to get to that in our stateroom in a bit. But he actually was asking what color our luggage was so he could go find it.
I've never had a room steward say that before and make that extra effort.
Yeah, so that was Aries. That was amazing.
And he would knock on our door and tell us when I've got another piece of luggage here, updated us. And we had it all pretty quickly, though. I was really impressed.
Yeah. And so I think that's kind of all I had. But I did actually think of something else that we, right as we're talking about this, the muster drill.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you have that written down.
No,
anymore.
I don't.
So let's just chat quickly about that. Super convenient. So if you, what's happening for our sailing anyhow, we got on the ship and we had to go visit our muster station, which was at the Princess Theater. So we just had to check in there, scan our medallions, and then we had to watch a little video in our room. And it actually, because your medallion kind of tracks you, it knew that we were both there watching the video.
We watched it on the TV. We didn't try this, but you can actually watch it on your cell phone as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So really convenient. We didn't have to go stand in lines or be crowded in with anyone. So stayed away from all the crowds.
And life jackets are in the cabin.
Yeah. Yeah. So any other embarkation or disembarkation or?
Yeah.
Oh, you do?
I do, yeah. I'm actually going to talk about disembarkation. When we have cruised with other cruise companies, towards the end of the cruise, you need to go find the tags for your luggage.
Yes.
And the tags are usually put out with numbering system, usually the lowest number being the earliest to the latest. So it's a little bit of a race down to find the luggage tags. If you need to get off early or you want to be late, you're trying to get your preferred one. So Princess does this a little differently.
Yeah.
So about mid-cruise, they dropped off a paper and we just selected what time we wanted to disembark by. And then they brought us those luggage tags either the next day or the following day.
Yeah, they were in our room, which was
Really
great.
convenient. So I thought that was really fabulous, and it took the stress down a little bit. My only little wish is, could we do this when we're checking in online? Just select what time we'd like to disembark.
Yeah, that's
Because
actually a good idea.
the only downside is when you're halfway through your cruise, you don't want to think about the cruise ending anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're busy planning your vacation,
Yeah.
you would like to make sure that all the details are taken care of, like being able to get your luggage off early to make that flight. So
Yeah.
to be able to select those things ahead of time, I think would reduce stress for people.
Mm-hmm. And we commonly, like on this trip,
Yeah.
we've done this a lot, where we always want the last time. If we don't have to be anywhere, I don't need to be off the ship at 7. I'd rather enjoy a coffee on the ship and before we get off and just take our time.
We either self-disembark, so usually like one of the first people off in the morning.
If we're in a rush.
Yeah, or we're the last.
Yeah.
We're, it's either you're going to hurry out or you can just take your time and let everyone else that needs to go.
Yeah. Yeah. So, any other thoughts?
That was it.
That was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that was embarkation and disembarkation.
All right, Ken, let's talk about the stateroom.
Ooh, yes, the stateroom.
Do you have any?
I have lots.
Yeah, you've got some
Yeah.
stuff to say? Okay, you go
Yeah.
ahead and start.
I do want to say it was modern, very modern,
Elegant.
elegant, really nice colors, and I'm going to start out with the bed.
Okay, yeah.
The bed was really comfortable, very
Yeah.
comfortable. The bedding was really nice. The pillows were comfy.
Yeah,
Just a really nice bed.
it was. That's important.
Yeah, I was happy with it.
Yeah.
Although, so our room, and we knew this when we booked it, did have bunks in it. So it could actually accommodate up to 4 people. And they were bunks. If you've watched our video on our room tour, the bunks are actually fold out of the wall and not, sometimes they come out of the ceiling, which I think is better. These ones came out of the wall, and you may have smashed your head on it once.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did. I whacked it pretty good.
Yeah.
So I was, why? At the moment. But yeah.
So, but that's no problem of the ship. That was just,
Yeah.
Our cabin had that, and we knew that booking it. So.
If you don't need 4 people in a room or 3, then I would recommend picking a room without the bunks in it so that you have a little more headspace.
But in the price category we were looking at, they all seem to have an adjoining door or beds that fold down, and we'd prefer beds that fold down rather than an adjoining door. So
Yeah, we've never had a cabin with an adjoining door, but in hotel rooms we found them noisier.
yeah.
So that was our thinking.
Yeah. Do you want to go?
Yeah, well, I want to say that this room felt really spacious for an inside cabin.
Yeah.
We had a room that was not going the typical direction. It was going more the length of the ship. But there was room all the way around the bed that you could easily walk around, with the exceptions of hitting your head on the bunk bed.
Yeah.
A lot of storage space around the vanity mirror. And an actual chair. So I've noticed a lot of cruise lines have gone to just a stool. This was a quality, solid chair that was actually comfortable to sit in if you were going to write or do some working.
Yeah.
It was really nice.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it was kind of cool because you'd walk around the corner, and that's where it was open shelving, which was interesting. Which was great because it's around the corner, so it doesn't seem messy. There was one that opened and closed with the safe in it. So lots of storage back there. Tons of storage. Yeah. The suitcases, we have probably 28-inch suitcases, and they fit under the bed. No problem. Lots of storage for an inside cabin. So we were in an inside cabin on, now I can't even remember, on deck.
We were on the Aloha
deck.
Aloha.
So, yeah.
I think it was deck 12.
Was it deck 12? I can look here.
Yeah.
Aloha. Yeah,
Aloha.
deck 12.
Yeah.
So, so tons of storage. The bathroom was around the corner, which was nice. So, you had to walk around the corner past the clothes and in there. And so open shelving. Those are some of the ones I had. Do you have more?
Yeah. I thought our room was very quiet.
Yes, I would agree.
We did hear some noise in the mornings a couple of times coming from I think it wasn't more cabins beside us. It was staffing. I think there was some kind of service room or something.
Well, I think there was
noise.
sometimes we'd come out and there would be a cart kind of outside our door because we were right where the hallway jogged.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that they were maybe collecting other people's room service dishes and putting them on the cart. I felt like I was hearing dishes outside our door, but for the most part, it didn't. We were usually kind of awake already by then.
I didn't hear the noise from other cabins.
No, not at all.
And only a couple times I heard a little noisier guests going down the hall in the middle of the night, but generally really quiet.
Yeah. So this was a plus, and I'll get to a kind of wish in a moment. There were USB plugs beside the bed. Mm-hmm. And there were regular plugs, but no USB plugs. So this is kind of a like and a wish. So there were USB plugs beside the bed, which is a like. There weren't any over in the main part by the TV, so that's a wish. And I don't know if this was an issue with just myself or with, because you didn't have this problem. So our lights on the side of the bed had a USB.
I didn't use them.
So... Oh, you didn't use them. So
okay,
the lights on the side of the bed had USB plugs in it. And my cell phone would, when I charge it, at least once a night that I noticed, it would restart when it was plugged in and charging. I don't know if that was my cell phone because it doesn't happen here at home or when it's plugged in normally. It was just when it was plugged in to the nightstand or the light on the nightstand. Every night my phone would restart. And
was it slow charging too?
It was pretty slow charging. It wasn't a fast charge, but it is nice to have that there. Maybe it was just a quirk with the light I had. I'm not sure.
No, I didn't really use it though because I didn't think of this. You know the name of the cable. I brought my cable from my cell phone, but mine was the same end.
So it was a USB-A plug, so your standard USB plug like what's on your computer. And you had a USB-C to USB-C plug. Mm-hmm. And I had both, so I actually had an extra one if you would have asked me. I didn't know that that's why you weren't charging. But so make sure you have a USB-A to whatever your phone is.
If you want to use that.
If you want to use that, for sure. Any other? I have a couple more things.
Well, I want to talk about our room steward. Well, we did a little bit, Aries. Like, just shout out to him. He worked so hard. He was quick to come in and clean our room. He worked around our schedule.
Yeah. He was just discreet.
Yeah. Like, I think they're sneaky. They somehow get in there, clean your room.
Maybe they're hiding behind the suitcase or something, because they're just, like, you walk away and somehow your room gets cleaned and...
And Princess is still, I'm saying still because I know other cruise lines have dropped this, they're still going into your room twice a day. So they cleaned our rooms in the morning and then did the turn down service at night.
Yeah.
So that's still a nice thing.
Yeah, Aries was amazing. Props to you. Awesome job. Couple of things. For a brand new ship, the fact that it still has a shower curtain.
Okay, yeah, that was
that's one of my wishes. I don't know, and maybe there's a reason for it.
They're probably lighter and easier to clean. It wasn't a really clingy shower curtain, so it wasn't too bad.
Yeah. But the shower, like there was soaps, it was I want to say decent size, but
Yeah, it's a cruise bathroom. It's like bathroom. You don't have to take a step. You just pivot from the sink, toilet, shower, and you're like
you don't have to turn. You just have to turn.
No steps involved.
And our TV was in the corner of the room. We could see it, but it wasn't on a tilt.
Yes.
But I do want to say there was a ton. This is a pro or a like.
Yeah.
There was a lot of free and on-demand TV shows, comedies, as well as movies on there.
That was a bonus because we all have our classic shows that we like to watch. Mm-hmm. So that was really nice.
And not that we go on a cruise to watch TV, but sometimes you just need to unwind. Maybe you want to throw on a comedy at 11 o'clock at night before you go to sleep. That was there for you. So
that was wonderful.
Yeah, no, it was really good that way. Other final thoughts on the stateroom? I don't really have anything else.
No, I just think, so the temperature in our room.
Okay.
I want to say it was comfortable. It was the dial kind, and we had it turned the whole time to the coldest setting. Mm-hmm. We were in Alaska. I was comfortable the whole time.
I was too.
But the room didn't get too cold.
No. No.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
that would say that was a good thing. I don't know how.
Oh, I should mention there was a little mini fridge in there as well.
Oh yeah, that was
That
really
was
nice.
handy.
Yeah.
And two big mirrors.
Yeah. A full size mirror, which is good. Just okay. I was just impressed by the amount of storage too. So it was a lovely, lovely design.
Yeah, for sure. So next on our list is the app and our medallions.
Yeah, it's pretty cool technology.
Yeah, I've got mine right here. So what they give you is a little medallion. Looks kind of like a Apple AirTag, I think. So it can pop out of here. It's just a tiny little thing like that. And they give you a free lanyard as well, which was really nice. I do appreciate that. And these, you get to take them home with you as a souvenir. You get a new one every time you cruise. It has your name on it and the date of your sailing. So little princess logo there. You can actually pay to customize them. And on the ship, you can buy like wristbands, necklaces, kind of watch type things that these go in. Really nice feature. So you might be asking what that does.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain what it does?
Yeah, it's basically your room key.
Yes.
But with some extra benefits.
Yeah.
So it has some kind of tracking device in it. So this kind of connects with the app.
Yeah.
And the medallion. They go together. So some of the benefits are you can order food. And they can find you and deliver the food to you wherever you're at on the ship.
Yeah.
You can find your family or people that you've booked your cruise with by through the app. That's something you can turn off.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to be tracked by your friends and family, you can turn that off.
I really like, so wasn't a room key. This is your room key. So you'd walk down your hall and about maybe 20 feet from your room, you could see the light change on the thing that your door was unlocked. And as you leave, your door locked right away. So you weren't fumbling with your card trying to get that out. It just automatically unlocked. It worked really well for that.
It was really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I know you had a wish about that, though.
Yeah. And, I'm just going to... I don't want to use hard language here. I'm saying dislike.
I don't know your list, but I know this will be on your list.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why.
So one of the things they have outside of your cabin is your name. And it's your full name. And I don't know how comfortable I am of having my full name outside the cabin door. It just seems like...
And not when you're checking, like, all the time.
All the time. And I'm not...
First and last name.
I think it would kind of check, too, if you were in the room. Not 100%.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that, but it would... You could definitely see the first and last name of everybody as you walk down the hall, which I didn't like either.
I just wasn't... And there's no reason that it was a problem. I'm just not comfortable with that idea.
Yeah, so I wish it would have just said Ken and Andrea on the door, or on the little screen outside our door.
And skip the last name.
Yeah. So I don't know when you checked in, I don't... Like when you was unlocking, I think it just said your first name, but when you weren't there, I believe it had your first and last name. So I agree with that.
I guess if you don't remember which cabin is yours.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
But yeah.
I found this really handy when, like, we'd order something to drink when we were going to karaoke or something, and it was really busy, and you'd see the waiter could pretty much track you down to within 5-10 feet, and you kind of had to give them a little wave because there might be 10 people sitting around you when you see your drink going by. So it definitely brought them to the right area. But if there was a big group, keep an eye out so you can give them a little wave that it's for you. But they really could narrow it down to where you were, for sure.
We didn't take advantage of this, but Princess has partnered up with some of the stores in port. You can actually make some purchases with your medallion.
Yeah, really convenient if you know that's happening, that you might not need to take as much into port. I wouldn't count on it, but maybe you didn't bring enough cash into port and you wanted to buy something, you could actually buy it with your medallion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on there? I had the menus, you could see them on the app.
Yeah.
And the activities.
The activities. Yeah, okay. This is like okay. You see, it was good that the activities were shown on there, but I found that the app was hard to scroll through. It was hard to, just the way they organized it in the charting of it, it was kind of weird, but thankfully Princess still does the printed like daily planner that you can look at.
Yeah, I didn't put that on my list, but that is definitely one of the things I was thinking about. Good on you, Princess, that you still give the daily planner every day. And you still have menus in the restaurants.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for doing that. It's much appreciated. Like our previous cruise didn't have that, and I just, it might be whiny of me, but I really enjoyed that on the ship, having that back again. So
yeah, and I really find looking at paper easier rather than scrolling, be it a menu or an activity schedules.
Yeah.
So we actually still carried the daily schedule with us, and we found it really easy to.
It's quicker.
see.
It's definitely quicker to use the paper version.
Yeah.
So yeah. I think that's all I had for sure for app and Medallion.
All right, let's talk about one of my favorite categories, the restaurants and the food.
Ooh, yes. I've been walking way too much since that last cruise.
Walking because of all the food?
Yes. That's
So why don't you start off with some of your likes?
Okay, I'm going to just start out with the World Fresh Marketplace. That is the buffet on the Lido deck. I think that's the biggest buffet, or maybe not, pretty close to the biggest buffet, if not the biggest, that we've seen on a cruise ship. And the variety in the buffet was top notch. Like, it was probably the best buffet we've ever had on a cruise ship.
They didn't skimp. Like,
No.
Sometimes I've been in buffet areas and it seems like there's a lot of the filler foods, you know? And this, a lot of meat choices.
Well, all the carving stations and a variety of different meats, from roast to pork to salmon.
Half a chicken.
Yeah, they had a chicken rotisserie on board, or they have chicken wings or mussels. They had all sorts of stuff throughout the week. And it wouldn't be one of those things for each meal. It was multiple items, if not 6 or 7 different meats to choose from. Salads. Okay, this was awesome. They had a Caesar salad station. And I really like Caesar salad. If you've watched our vlogs, I'm always like, I ordered the Caesar salad. But the Caesar salad station, it wasn't just dressing. There was like 10 toppings to choose from bacon to different cheeses to all sorts of things. So on top of that, of course, the regular salad stations with all the options, deli meats, cheeses, Mexican, like taco bars, and yeah. And then the dessert, like they had their own area, which was just desserts. And that was amazing. All sorts of desserts, cookies, your favorite. So a lot of food in the buffet. And I think the best tasting food and the best quality of food we've seen in a buffet, and the largest. And on top of that, when you'd sit down, the waiters and waitresses would bring you beverages. You didn't have to go
that was
to
so
the
nice.
station. Yeah.
Especially when you're carrying your food and you're walking around and your hands are full, and to have them to bring your coffee to you or bring you some lemonade or water, or when you run out of beverage and they bring you more, like they were always there. It was.
So that all being said, there's not as many beverage stations. There were beverage stations, but they were constantly bringing you, especially at breakfast, different juices, coffee, refilling you.
And that cuts down on the traffic of people walking around. Like, it makes it less busy in the buffet because the staff are walking around with trays of beverages, dropping them off, rather than having every one of us running back and forth for our own drinks.
For sure.
You know, one thing you didn't touch on, but for all our gluten-free friends out there, they had a gluten-free section as well in their they call it like their bakery, the bread station. Even gluten-free croutons. So if you are gluten-free, they do think of you there. So know that you'll be in good hands.
Yeah, no, that was a ton. So, I mean, I could go on food for a long time. Do you want to pick one?
Well, I just loved all the food. And there was so much. Okay, we didn't try this. Okay, here's the problem. I need to cruise for like, I don't know, a month straight to be able to try everything out.
Oh, way too many options.
Way too much. And they had one of the biggest selections of room service that were complimentary.
We didn't order.
We didn't
room.
even try it once because we were stuffed.
Yeah.
And so if you're someone who likes to enjoy food in your cabin,
Yeah.
it's really great.
Yeah. So a couple of the smaller complimentary restaurants, there was so much food, we didn't even I didn't anyway, feel like we had to try a paid restaurant.
No, especially dining. I think, if you cruised for back to back, it might be fun to try, but I felt like I couldn't even experience all the stuff that was complimentary.
Yeah, no, for sure. So complimentary by the pool, there was the Salty Dog, which had burgers, fries, hot dogs, and like chili fries.
Yeah,
and
chili fries with cheese.
tacos.
That's fun.
Yeah, fun stuff. And Gigi's. Ooh,
The pizzeria?
Yeah, down, not in the, I can't remember what deck, maybe 6 or 7, the pizzeria.
Yeah.
Complimentary as well. Really good, freshly made pizza or paninis. We had both of those. I think we had the ham and pineapple and the panini. Excellent down there. And the International Cafe, just for little snacks down there as well. Complimentary. We had donuts there.
Yeah.
There's sandwiches, pastries, different things. So.
Now, I'm going to quickly touch on a wish, though.
Okay.
And it's about the coffee. Because
I'm not sure what you're going to say.
Well, we pre-purchased a coffee package. So we actually put it just under Ken's name.
Mm-hmm.
And
so it was 50 specialty coffees.
Yes. And it could be like hot or cold. Now, my problem with this is when I got on board, I didn't remember what the specifications were around this coffee package. So I knew that Ken was allowed to share the specialty drinks with me, but also because he had that coffee package under his name, he had unlimited hot chocolate, and it was like freshly brewed coffee, and teas, like a variety of teas.
And we didn't try those once. Because
you had one regular coffee.
Did
once.
I? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't even remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, we didn't know what was included.
Well, and
with that,
we didn't remember, and then we'd have to ask all the time. Like, I wish it would show up in the app.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know how many drinks we had left or how many we had used up, and I know we could have just asked.
Yeah.
But I think we may have been able to use it in the fresh. What was the buffet called?
In the World Fresh Marketplace.
Yeah, because they also had a coffee station there, and I wasn't sure if it included the coffee from there. Like, so we're talking like we had lattes and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And we also had a nice coffee.
Yeah.
So that was just a little confusing, and I should have paid more attention when we purchased that, so I would take advantage of it fully. Because I think we didn't use all 15 beverages.
Yeah, I think we might have missed using one, which is fine. It was a better deal anyway. Yeah. I do have a couple of wishes, and then do you want to talk about the main dining room after that?
Sure, yeah.
So, one wish, and because this is where it kind of fits in, down at the International Cafe, as well as I noticed this at the Salty Dog, the lack of a menu to look at.
Oh, yeah.
So, I felt like there was no menu to find out what beverages, unless you went on the app. So you get to the front of the line, and then you could ask to look at the menu, and then they were kind of like, oh, the next person. And it just felt like if they'd put a couple menus down the line, even just posted on like the glass, it would have been better so people would know what they're getting when they get to the front of the line. So that was both at the International Cafe and at the Salty Dog. You kind of didn't know what they had until you got to the front of the line.
And when you got to the front of the line, because there's a long line, you could tell they felt rushed. And so it was like, next person, let's go, let's go, let's go. So
yeah,
I actually, when we were in line at the Salty Dog, I snuck up ahead and snapped a photo of the menu so that we could look over it at the back of the line. Because this is our first time on Princess, so we weren't familiar with what they had.
Yeah. So the whole week of food, there was only one item I had that was like,
What's that?
And it wasn't that bad that I didn't eat it more than once. Was the ice cream.
Oh, the soft serve.
The soft serve, the swirls ice cream. I don't know. It had a weird flavor to it.
And yet, like, we met this We
But I
didn't
had
really
it twice. Or,
I heard this girl who said she had 4 ice cream cones every single day and loved it. Just to give you some background information, I think Costco has one of the best soft serve ice cream.
Yeah.
Like, I love the flavor
Rich
of
and
Costco.
creamy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this just didn't have the same.
It was the only food item where I'm like, and I did have a second cone, but it's like, and maybe, probably because I was wondering if the first one was just off. And it was the only food item where I'm like, I don't need any more. Yeah.
That was okay. But the kids seem to be eating it.
The kids eat
enjoying
them,
it.
and maybe they're made for the kids. Although they did have sprinkles for the ice cream cones,
Yeah,
which
yeah. Well, and for you.
is for me.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All I needed for their ice cream was just, one slick of yours.
So, that's the only thing I have for a wish. Those 2 things for a wish. So, but let's talk about the main dining rooms as well, because we ate in the Ketchikan and the Skagway.
Yeah. Now, the service was fantastic.
Yes.
And I just want to do like a quick shout out, and I believe they were both in the Skagway. Anthony and JP. Amazing. Like some of the best service we've had in a main dining room on a cruise ship.
They were phenomenal, and even they like to tease a little bit and just good humor and
Connected with us.
And if we couldn't decide on a dessert, they would like maybe bring an extra dessert for us to share, and constantly keeping our beverages topped up. Just top-notch service, and they were very accommodating in there as well. We asked to be able to sit by a window, and more often than not, they were able to accommodate that. So yeah, it was just really good service that way.
Really good. And I want to say that the food was plated and looked beautiful.
Yeah, it didn't look like... Sometimes we've seen where your food, you get it in the main dining room, and it looks like someone was running up the hill with it on its side, and the whole meal is kind of off to the side. This was beautifully plated. The food was amazing.
So I've seen before too where I think the food's been under a hot plate, like or a hot light, and so the dishes somehow got like a greasy coating over everything.
Yeah.
That wasn't the case. Like the plates came out like clean, and like it was intentionally done. The presentation and the taste, it was... I was really happy.
So I'm going to give you a backstory though as well. This is fancy dining for us.
Yeah, yeah.
So we have 3 teenage kids. So fancy dining we don't get out for fancy dining that often. It's usually more like chain restaurants with our kids and stuff, just because...
What are some of our favorite restaurants?
What are some of our favorite restaurants? Okay, my favorite restaurant, if it's just you and I, is the Keg.
Okay, yeah. And that would be a big treat for us.
Yeah, so the Keg would be... And then I, like for chain restaurants, White Spot is a great local one.
That's a Canadian one.
Canadian one. Old Spaghetti Factory.
And when we travel to the States, we always love to go to the Olive Garden. We don't have one locally.
Or Claim Jumpers.
Claim Jumpers, yeah. And our kids... Love Chili's.
Love Chili's. So that's would be like our normal dining.
So now you know what we like. Red Robin.
Yeah. So
like a good burger.
So if you're like, well, this is, the main dining room is too basic for us, this is where we're coming from. Yeah. So
we just think this is fabulous.
So for us to get lobster is
lobster, steak on a nightly basis, this is like wonderful.
Yeah. So that was one thing. In our dining, we were able to ask for 2 lobster tails, and they brought us 2 lobster tails, no problem. And the next table had done that as well, so they kind of tipped us off. And the kind of good thing was you didn't get double vegetables and rice and everything. And I hate to say that because, but it all came plated on one plate, which was really
nice. The lobster tails, they're not a huge piece of meat by the time they take whatever they take it apart and stuff. So I would ask for 2 tails.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Any other thoughts for food in restaurants?
Yeah, okay, so we hummed and hawed about getting the soda package. Mm-hmm. But I don't really drink that much soda. And I was pleasantly surprised that a can of soda
Yeah.
was $2.
So it was Coke products, I believe, on the ship.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
And so a can of Coke was $2.
And I believe by the glass was
$1.50.
Now they charge. They automatically add the tip and charges to that. So if you want to tip extra, obviously you can, but they do add the fees right to your account.
Yeah. So, so we figured it's probably not worth it for us because maybe we'd have 1 or 2 a day.
I think I had 3 the whole cruise. So
Yeah, I probably had 5 or so, but then we're in port as well, so we got coffees and drinks in port. So,
and you know what? I love soda, so I don't really want the soda package because then I'm just gonna like be drinking soda all day.
So we're not saying not to buy it, but for us, the pricing to buy it individually was
it was
fine.
It was fine, totally fine.
So we were happy with the pricing on that.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm just looking to see if there was anything else.
I'm done my list, so.
Yeah, I am too. I love the dining.
I did see one more. We paid for the gelato.
Oh yeah.
By the Piazza.
Yeah.
So we got there and it was actually closed,
Yeah.
and then they were opening 15 minutes later or 20 minutes later. So their hours do vary that they're open. I believe it was $1.50 for 1 scoop of gelato and a topping, $2.50 for 2 scoops and a topping, and $3.50 for 3 scoops and a topping. So the pricing was very affordable on that. Lots of different flavors, really good. I enjoyed the pistachio. You like the Nutella.
Yeah, it was like, and I think for $1.50, $2.50, $3.50, that is really affordable when you compare it to what you pay in port for ice cream. This was really
when
good.
I say I didn't love the swirls ice cream, the gelato was really good. So
for sure. All right, let's talk about the activities and the amenities. What things did you really like?
Ooh. So I didn't use this, and I probably should have after all the trips to the Marketplace Buffet, but the gym was first class, really nice gym. I do have a full tour of it. If it's not out already, it will be coming out shortly.
I believe open 24 hours.
Yeah, so tons of treadmills, tons of machines in there. A really nice gym down the side of the ship, so that was really nice. And lots of hot tubs and pools on this ship.
That's true.
For the amount of people, so I was happy about that.
And I have to add here, people always ask, when you go to Alaska, are the pools heated? And there's a big debate online. No, they're not. Yes, they are.
So we actually asked.
We did,
yeah. So the hot tubs, of course, the hot tubs are heated. And I don't remember the exact temperatures. I believe it was between 36 and 40 degrees Celsius.
So they vary. So not all the hot tubs are the same temperature. So if you're someone who likes it on the cooler or hotter side,
they might be slightly different.
just go ahead and put your hand in or ask and they'll tell you.
Yeah. So lots of hot tubs, and the pools are heated. Yes, they are heated.
They're not hot. Like, don't think you're going to get in, like, Caribbean hot water.
Yeah.
But
now, that being said, I don't know when this ship sails to the Mexican Riviera or other destinations. I don't know if it will be heated then.
No, I don't know.
But for Alaska, yes, it was heated. Those are definitely nice because we've been on other ships where the hot tub was on the cool side going to Alaska.
And that was really disappointing. If you have like aches and pains and you just want to soak them away in a hot tub, I think you want them warm. So
the hot tubs weren't scorching though. We've been in hot tubs where
you have to get out after 5-10 minutes because you're like overheating.
These ones we could sit in for quite a while.
And they had lots of them. They were smaller design.
I guess that would be a wish. I don't want to complain about the hot tub. Because they were small and circular, it would have been awkward for more than like 5 people.
Yeah, your knees are a little closer than some of the bigger ones.
Yeah. But you can... We had lots of good conversation in the hot tub with people, and
there was a lot of hot tub space available most of the time.
Yeah, no, for sure. Movies by the pool. There was a lot of movies by the pool.
And good movies.
Like on the screen, good movies. They had their deck chairs out there.
And they put the cushions on when it's not raining.
Yeah. And not just at night, but during the day as well. So that was a really nice activity that they were doing. Do you want to go?
Yeah, we've hit a lot of them. I'm going to talk about a wish, though.
Uh-oh.
I think you know about this one. Mini golf. And I have to say, I wouldn't call it mini golf.
No.
I would call it a putting green.
Yeah, it was definitely underwhelming, the mini golf. So I believe it's the only thing on deck 19, the Vista deck, I believe. And you walk up there and it's just a big flat green area with holes.
It seemed like an afterthought. You know, they have the what do you call it? The clubs are up there and the golf balls right there. So everything you need is right there. And then the holes have a number in them. But I think somebody had played with them. So it seemed like there was like no sequence, no.
Yeah.
So it just, you know, if you just want to go putt and play, but I would.
Kids will probably be disappointed. Maybe want to try it for 5 minutes and then.
I was disappointed.
Yeah.
But that was probably the most disappointing part of the whole cruise for me.
If that's what you're most disappointed. Well, let me say what I was disappointed in.
Okay.
Because I have still more likes.
Okay,
but let's say I like to buy towels from a cruise ship.
He collects.
I collect them. I like to only use cruise ship towels.
He can't be on a cruise. He's going to be drying off with at least a cruise ship towel at home.
And they didn't sell them on the ship. I was really sad that they didn't sell towels from the ship that say Princess on them. I was looking forward to buying a nice big white Princess towel with the logo in the corner. And they did not have them on board the ship, which made me really sad.
But I'm going to tell you what made me happy. You did not need to check in your towel to exchange
I have that.
it. Yeah, because sometimes some of the other cruise lines, you have to scan your card or trade your towel in for another towel. And if you lose your towel or someone takes it, you can be charged for it. So that was not the case with Princess. It was tons of towels. Now, they were not the big, beautiful towels that I've used on some other ships, but there were so many, and they were readily available.
And they weren't being guarded like Fort Knox, so it was...
Yeah, they were like rolled up really nice. So I actually used them like one behind my neck, and when I got cold, I used them as a towel when I was or a blanket. They were all over, so it was that was nice. They were just freely available. Yeah,
no, for sure. I did like that. So do you have anything else? I have a few more things.
I think no, but I'll probably think of something.
So I think this, and when I say this, I'm not trying to compare it to other competition, but there seemed to be a lack of parties.
Part of that was the weather, though, because the celebration deck party was canceled. And they didn't move anything inside for that. Yeah. So it was kind of, I've never sailed away, and it's just been...
Dead silent.
Yeah, that was new for me.
Yeah. So, and maybe that's a Princess thing. I just felt like there could have been a little bit more atmosphere...
Around the pool.
On a sail away or something, and maybe there's regulations and different things. I don't know.
There was supposed to be a sail away party.
Yeah,
I know they do a nice one.
And then activities. I have a few others here. So, the running track on deck 18, awesome job, because there aren't loungers around it. It's just the running track.
You're not irritating anybody by going for a jog.
Yeah. So there's nothing worse than everybody's in their loungers and then the runner's trying to go zigzag through there. That's always a bad design. This was on its own. The runners are away from everyone else. So that was really good. The mall area or the piazza and those kind of 3 decks there was really nice. A lot of little shops, of course, all the jewelry shops, everything like that. Pretty big souvenir shop.
Their logo stuff too varied in prices from name brand products that you're familiar with to less expensive items if you're wanting something small to take home for somebody.
Yeah. So other than towels, a lot of name brand clothing with Princess logos on it, which was nice that you're not getting a cheapy shirt. That's gonna fall apart. It's a good quality shirt with the Princess logos on it.
So they had expensive, shouldn't say, but recognizable brands, and then they also had inexpensive coats that you could get. So there was a big variety of things. Yeah, and
lots of souvenirs from even Alaska. on the ship. So if you didn't want to buy them on shore, you could buy them on the ship as well.
Like toques or beanies, I saw some
Yeah.
around $10.
Yeah,
That's not
Alaska
bad.
keychains and all the little trinkets that you might buy, you could grab some of that on the
If
ship.
you have a
so.
lot of onboard credit, you could spend some there.
Yeah, no, I know. It's a good way to spend your onboard credit if you do have one. And then as for activities, though, we were actually on the 4th of July sailing, so there was different activities, fun little things going on the ship. So cornhole toss, there was paper airplane tosses, there was horse racing.
There was an egg drop. We missed that.
Egg drop, we missed that. But lots of little activities on the ship, keeping people busy, people always singing and stuff. So amenities, activities is definitely more low key than some of the competition, but I think that's what people are expecting when they sail on Princess.
Yeah.
So our last category is the venues and shows on the ship. Do you want to start out?
Yeah, you know what? Ken and I have never gone to karaoke before.
No, we haven't.
Never. Like, we've never
I think
stopped
we've
by.
been scared to go to karaoke. That's the problem.
And, okay.
I'm scared that someone's going to force me to sing.
And we are not singers. They would actually, I think, sorry to group you in with this, they might boo us off. Actually, no, they wouldn't. They wouldn't, because you know what I noticed? Okay, we fell in love with going to karaoke. And when people started struggling with the songs, the whole crowd would start singing along with them. And it was like really fun. And then it was that's when we would sing.
And after we went once, we didn't miss it, I don't think, for the rest of the cruise.
Yeah, we really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. And you know what? This is going to go into my first wish.
Oh, I probably have the same one, if I know what you're going to say.
This was it was held in the Princess Live.
Yes.
And the venue was too small for how popular this event was.
Yeah. And not only that event, but the violins was packed out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they underestimated how many people would want to go to these events. Now, part of it was the Princess Live is located in a spot where a lot of people walk by. And when you walk by and there's something amazing happening, you want to stop and watch. So I think because a lot of people saw it, or I don't know, it was packed.
Yeah.
Always packed.
It should have been, in my opinion, moved to the Vista Lounge, which is a fair bit bigger, I believe, or at least size bigger, and they could add maybe extra chairs or something if they needed to. But the Princess Live was not big enough for karaoke or the violin players who were there before, or some of the other things going on.
And is it always that popular? I don't know. Do you go to karaoke? Is it packed? Is there a lot of people?
Yeah, because it was packed on this ship, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people were coming early to get seats.
Including us.
Yeah. So, and people who were singing, it was already full of the people who were singing before it even started.
Yeah. If you want to sing, especially towards the end of the cruise, you need to line up back by where the host booth is before it even begins, because they close the line. They only allow so many people to sing, because otherwise they would go into the middle of the night.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
So most of our shows, the big shows, were in the Princess Theater.
Yeah.
Beautiful venue. There's not posts blocking things.
It's a really nice theater.
2-tiered theater, and you can access off 2 different decks. I think it was deck 6 and 7, if I'm not mistaken. But I could be wrong. But yeah, beautiful venue and great views from pretty much the whole thing. So comedy, I enjoyed the comedy. Comedy was really good.
And they had one comedian on, and his shows were, I would say, PG.
Those ones were for sure.
Yeah, and they were really good for all age groups, down from kids and parents, grandparents. He did an excellent job of doing a show that would appeal to most people. Yeah.
The performances, so there was like the singing group on board that did I can't remember what it was called. Rock opera, and there was the bar one. Like they were singing in the bar. I can't remember what that was called, but really high quality performances on the ship. There was a magician, he was good. Yeah. So really good performances throughout the week. And my favorite was, he's probably not on your ship if you're sailing on it, but if he's on there, was Tom Franek.
Yeah.
I believe. So he was a piano player. He'd stand on his head and play, and play over his shoulders and do all sorts of fun stuff. He was amazing. So just the level of the shows was really high notch on the ship for sure.
It was very good. We enjoyed it a lot.
And even out in the piazza, there would always be like bands playing or someone singing, or and even there would be the people would break out just like ballroom dancing in the piazza as well.
That was fun to watch.
Yeah, yeah. No, we're not.
There's, some of the things that were different about Princess is they brought on a naturalist.
Yes.
And they had guest speakers. I don't know if you call them guest speakers, but people who would lecture and teach about different things.
Yes.
During the day.
Professional photographer talking about the Northern Lights. And the naturalist, when we sailed up to the glacier, he was on the loudspeaker, just telling stories and what's going on off the ship.
And that having that background information helps you enjoy everything a little bit more. And okay, you're going to agree with us too.
Okay.
So some of the other, so these aren't the evening shows. These are in the morning or mid-afternoon.
Yeah.
There was a cooking show one morning.
Which was, I call it cooking/comedy show.
Yeah, yeah.
It was really good. Like there was, I don't know who he was on the ship because we came in about maybe 5 or 10 minutes late, so we missed the introduction. But he was messing up trying to make a cake at the same time as the chef, and it was
comedic.
really funny.
It was funny.
He almost reminded me of the Swedish chef, the way he was baking. And
yeah, Ken is Swedish. Don't get offended.
So it was. It was really funny, and it was good.
It was good.
And the captain's talk.
That's where I was going to go next. Yeah.
I really enjoyed the captain's talk, and I think they had was it the engineer or just answering questions on the ship, and the host, I forget his name,
I forget.
Anyway, just asking questions and learned a lot about the ship, and then they opened it to the public to ask questions as well, which was awesome. And
you couldn't help but love the captain when you'd hear him talk, and he'd share like personal stories and personal things, and just like the amount of respect that you have for him and all the decisions they make and how they really do care about their crew and their guests.
Yeah, no, for sure.
That came across that he really was a compassionate person.
Yeah, no, awesome job to the captain there as well.
So we absolutely loved sailing on the Discovery Princess. She's a beautiful ship with great staff.
Yeah.
It was an amazing holiday.
Yeah, no, for sure. Even though we have some wishes, you're going to always have a few wishes. This was an amazing experience, and we highly recommend the Discovery Princess cruise ship. I'm sure you'll have an amazing time if you sail on it. We sure did, and I would love to go on this ship again. So I hope you did enjoy our likes and wishes and the truth about the Discovery Princess. If you did like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Also remember to connect with us on social media. You'll find all those links below in the description. And if you haven't done so already, go back and check out our vlogs from the Discovery Princess to Alaska. There's 7 days of vlogs that we'd love to share with you. So thank you so much for watching today. And we have plenty of videos coming up on other ships and different things we're doing that we'd love to share with you. So thanks for watching and take care. Bye-bye.